family, Rick here. How's it going? Hope all is going well. Today I wanted to do a quick little product review video for you. This is a product that has actually been in my collection for quite some time. This is the Physicians Formula Ultimate Murumuru Butter Collection. It is a limited edition. I bought this months ago, and I bought it before I had even started on my YouTube channel, and then I wanted to do a review video, but by the time I had started my channel, started uploading videos, I figured people were probably already past this. They didn't really care much about it, but with all of us kind of being stuck at home, and buying makeup is not a top priority, so if you are wanting to add to your collection, it has to be a smart financial decision, I think. So this is something that you get a lot of product for a pretty small price. I wanted to get on here and let you know my thoughts and opinion on this, and if I think this is worth adding into your collection during a time that, you know, makeup's not a priority. So this is quite a large packet, but what you get in this versus the size is actually really incredible. So you open it up like a little book. It is hard plastic container, and then the first pages is bronzers and eyeshadows, and then when you pull this open, then it goes into highlighters. Pull it again, there's a little mirror right here that you flip up. That's pretty neat. And then when you open this up, it's blushes, and then when you open it up again, there are lip products. So this is very, very large. It is a little inconvenient to hold. It's a little awkward. It's quite large, which is one of the drawbacks of this, but I figured we would go over everything else inside of this. So when you first receive it, it does have these little plastic flaps that are on top of it. So I've actually just left them. There's one of my bronzers, and then there's one of my eyeshadows, and there's a little piece of sticker here. When this falls out, I'll just tape them, because when you close them, they're face to face. So I love these because they do prevent any fallout from the eyeshadow to the bronzer to the eyeshadow, because this formula is a bit more powdery than others. So it's really nice because it prevents from fallout or the glitter from the eyeshadows getting into the bronzer. So I'll start with the bronzer. So it is light bronzer, sun-kissed bronzer, sunset bronzer, endless summer, bronzer, deep bronzer, Brazilian glow, and sculpt bronzer. So I had the sculpt bronzer and the bronzer in singles. Those are the only Physician Face products that I personally had. So when I saw this collection coming out where it's everything from their butter collection, I thought it was a great deal because I had wanted to try their highlighters and their blushes. I only had those two bronzers, and I do like to have a variety of makeup, so I figured this would be a great addition to my collection. I have seen this on sale multiple times on Physicians Formula's website and on Amazon for half the price. It normally runs for I think it's $45 or so. I'll actually just leave the price up on the screen. And I got this for half the price. So that is incredible. The price of 4 bronzers would be the same price as this entire collection. They're about $12 to $15 a bronzer. So just with that being said, I think it's worth it. But I'll go ahead and do swatches of everything and let you know piece by piece what I think is worth it, and if I think the collection together is a good bang for your buck. All right, so there are all the bronzers. I really love that there is quite a large difference in all of them. There are some really super glowy ones, there's matte ones, there's darker ones, there's cool tone ones. I love the variation that you get with the bronzers. I do kind of change up in skin tone. During the summer I get pretty tan. During the winter I'm super pale. So I do like that there's quite a large variety in here. I think the bottom four, the deepest four would work really well for a darker complexion. The lighter ones would work for fair to medium light. So I do think there's something for everyone in this palette. It's not going to be a palette that everything is going to work for every single person. But for me, the darker bronzers, I can use those in the crease to blend out eyeshadows also. So I do think that's pretty worth it. Also, the bronzers are super blendable, super creamy. Smells like their beautiful coconut scent. So if you are sensitive to scents, that might be something you might want to think about, that they are all pretty scented. So the next is going to be their eyeshadows. I did use all their products on my face today. I did this entire eyeshadow look using this palette. So Physician Formula eyeshadow is not my favorite eyeshadow formula. They're a bit harder to blend, a little bit harder to work with, but once you get them kind of blended out and worked together, they are really beautiful. It's quite a collection of different formulas. There's really beautiful buttery metallics. There's a little bit flakier, chunkier metallics, and I'll talk about those in a minute. There's really creamy mattes. There's some matte with a little bit of glitter, which isn't my favorite formula. But I think out of this entire thing, there's only 4 eyeshadows that don't work for me or don't blend very well. This purple, that purple, and the 2 blues. So it's actually my least favorite colors in the palette that don't work very well. Everything else works pretty well. I will say though that these 3 eyeshadows right here, they're a kind of a drier, flakier, metallic eyeshadow. So with those ones, using a brush isn't going to work very well. There's going to be a lot of fallout. I normally pat most metallics on my lid with my finger. So with those, I'll give you swatches of them. And if you can see, they look pretty flaky on my fingers. Just pat them on and then kind of rub it out. It really does leave a beautiful, beautiful color. You just have to be a little bit more careful with those. You could also wet your brush. What I like to do is I use my Evian water and I just spray my brush, which is what I did on my lid. I used this color on my lid and I just sprayed the brush, and it leaves such a beautiful metallic look. You can definitely make those eyeshadow work either using your finger or wetting the brush. So I also wanted to swatch their metallics. Their metallics are really beautiful. So these other ones are super creamy, which is kind of weird that they're not consistent in formula, but that might be on purpose. I'm not really sure. But the other metallics are gorgeous. They're super blinding and glowy, and they're super creamy to the touch. And then the matte formula in here is a bit inconsistent. Also, I would say the black isn't super blendable. It's a little patchy. Once you work with it a little bit more, it works pretty good. And then this kind of cool tone purple was a little more difficult to work with, but not bad. But other than that, the mattes are really nice. I used most of them today. The thing I like about their eyeshadows, they're not super pigmented, so you do have to build them up, which I like, because then you don't get too much pigment right off the bat. You have to work to get the color that you might want, which means you can also get a lighter wash of color if that's what you're looking for. A really versatile little eyeshadow palette is what I did today, so you can get a full glam, you can get neutral, and you can get a little pop of color also with that green. Once you pull that over is a highlighter palette. These highlighters are phenomenal. They're gorgeous. They're probably one of my favorite parts of this entire palette. You get pearl, you get pink, you get copper, you get iridescent, rose gold, deep mauve, and champagne. I hadn't tried the Physicians Formula highlighters yet, but I really did want to. So when you put your finger in them, I'm going to show you, they feel like cream. They're gorgeous. When you swatch them, they feel wet to the touch. And they're just beautiful. I do think there's not as many highlighters in this palette that'll work for super fair skin. A lot of them are quite a bit darker, but what you can do is you can blend it too. Take this super dark one and the white or purpley and kind of blend them in together, and it just makes a lighter, more wearable color. Because you can customize pretty much everything in this palette. You can add a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That's what I did with my highlighter today. I did the lightest and the champagne, and it blends in really well, and it is a beautiful, almost what look to the face. Next is going to be the blushes. I was really excited to try the blushes. I hadn't ever tried their blushes before, but their formula is really beautiful. Let's see, it's Natural Glow, Rosy Pink, Saucy Mauve, and Vintage Rouge, Plum Rose, Beachy Peach, and Copper Cabana. I have Copper Cabana and Vintage Rouge mixed on my cheeks. So these are a really nice formula. They're really blendable. They're not super powdery. Bronzers and eyeshadows are definitely the most powdery of the palette, but the blushes are not powdery at all. So here's the swatches of the blushes. I really love that you get quite a large variety. You get matte, shimmery, cool tone, warm tone, and just anything you could possibly need. You can also mix them together. So I do think that this would work for the variety of people with the blushes also. So then the last part of this is the lip product. I'm not super excited to see the lip products in this palette. I'm not a huge fan of palette like this. I have the lip products also. I rarely ever use them or like them. But I was curious to try the formula. It does have kind of a papaya scent to it. So when you swatch them, they're very sheer, which I didn't think I would like very much. But actually, if you line your lips and then you just tap it into the middle lip, it gives you such a beautiful, almost glowy, balmy type look. I'll show you. I did do it today, and I'm going to use this like light mauve color. You just put your finger right into it, tap it on, and it just adds a beautiful glow to your lips and a very sheer light color. that's actually super flattering and really nice. It doesn't last super long, but you just reapply it again and it's not a big deal. And I like also you can mix and match and create kind of your own color. So the lip colors are actually really nice. I didn't expect to like them as much as I do, but I do really like them. So even though I can't use everything on my skin tone, and a few other eyeshadows are kind of duds, I think this is worth it. For everything you get, it is an incredible value versus what you pay, which is next to nothing of its actual retail value. It all works really well. I think this would be a really, really neat gift for someone who maybe doesn't have as much makeup, or is new to makeup, maybe a younger teen, just getting into makeup, because it is really good quality and versus what you pay for it. And some people did say they thought it looked kind of cheap, or kind of cheesy. I actually really like it. It kind of is nostalgic for me. It is giving me 90s vibes. A little Polly Pocket, which I think is really cool. Also, like if I was going to be grabbing makeup and having to go do makeup somewhere else, I would grab this entire thing, my few base products, and then you have everything you would need. A really nice variety. When I go traveling, I do like to have a variety of different products, so I'll take 2 to 3 bronzers, I'll take 2 to 3 blushes, because I like to change it up. I don't like to wear the same thing every single day. So this gives me everything I could possibly need to change it up and to go from day to night to super glam to everyday looks to kind of a little bit funner looks. And what you pay for it is really a fraction of what it's actually worth. So I actually really love this. I think it's a really great value for your dollar. This product gives you tons of variety. I could play with this 10 times and still not use absolutely everything in the palette. So that is the end of the video. Hopefully this was helpful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye guys.